CRUSADE of BARDS. We are a symphonic pyrometal act from Spain and Germany, and we are about to release our new record, Tales of the Seven Seas. Well, I think that's a very nice question. I think that everybody inside the band has a personal goal, but when we come together, well, we create something that is unique. We do not have boundaries when we create music. We just want to create what it really is good for us, and what really makes us feel something when we have our compositions laid down. So I think that just is coming together, let our different musical feelings come up and have nice experiences together in the whole process, regardless if it's pre-production or production or post-production. Well, our name is CRUSADE of BARDS, and I think that the name, of course, is divided in two. We are bards. We feel like we are modern bards because you know, we go town to town telling our stories, and I think that crusade is because, well, it's every bard's crusade to go and spread the word about different stories, myths and legends, and you know, to smoothen a little bit the limit between what is real and what is not. Yes, Tales of the Seven Seas is our second full-length album, and it's the second one into the Tales saga that started with Tales of Bards and Beasts, our first full-length album. In this second one, that is going to be released the 18th of February 2022 via Rockshots Records, we are taking our whole concept into reality. We are talking about real events that happened throughout the history, and we are relating those events to the seven major seas. So we're gonna have 14 tracks on this new album, 2 for every sea. And we wanted to do like this to sort of change a little bit our concept as a band. The first album was about myths and legends, and now we are changing into real events. Music-wise is also a big step forward. We are evolving, of course, musically as a band. We are a little bit more mature, and I think that we are, of course, letting all our influences gathering together and creating the unique sound of CRUSADE of BARDS. And the whole production process was also a little bit bigger this time, bigger video clip, bigger live production, and of course a bigger studio production in order to make our sound known to everybody and have a clear vision of who CRUSADE of BARDS is. Nice, actually. I am the lyricist of the band, so as I said before, we are talking about real historical events, so I, of course, I studied a little bit before different events that were going on in different seas we are talking about, and choosing the stories that were more compelling, the more interesting to talk about. And lyric-wise, I was not remaining just attached to the event itself, but I wanted also to give different layers to the lyrics, so you can read them and relate them to well, the life of the listener, or to something that is going on right now. As we can see, the story, you know, it repeats itself sometimes, unfortunately. And I think that these different layers in the lyrics, well, it makes a little bit easier for somebody to identify themselves into them. An example can be the first song of the album, The Northwest Passage. It's about the British expedition to find the Northwest Passage, but it's actually a fictional letter that the captain of the expedition sends to his wife in different moments of the expedition. One at the beginning, first part of the song, when, you know, there is hope and excitement about this new adventure, and one towards the end when everything seems that it's gonna be lost, you know, with a little bit of disbelief and sadness coming on. Another example can be, for example, Naupactos, that talks about the battle of Naupactos that happened in the Mediterranean Sea between the Ottoman Empire and the Holy League. In this case, I wanted to give a view from both sides, not just from the winner's side, but to give a view of this gruesome battle from the Ottoman side and of course from the Holy League side. Yeah, the album artwork was again a work of Daniel Alonso, the same one of our first album. And in this case, since we are changing a little bit our genre and of course a little bit also the general topic of the album, we wanted to reflect that into the artwork. The first one was about myths and legends, so we got this fantasy element, and this time we are talking about real historic events, so we get the ship, but you see that from the front. You get the front statue with the book, the open book that enlightens the face as our stories. We hope that our stories enlighten our listeners into discovering new aspects of the whole history and also applying that to the real world nowadays. And regarding the rest of it, we still have a little bit that fantastic element with the kraken tentacles trying to capture the ship, and that's because as bards, as we are in Crusade of Bards, we always have that little bit of element of fantasy that is not really defined and is always difficult to understand the passage towards it. And I think that is very important throughout all the history of the band and keeps a sort of link inside the Tales saga that we are with these two albums. Well, we are recording this at the end of 2021, and actually I've recently made my list of top albums from this year, and I can say that a lot of nice music has been released in the last 12 months, and I think that I can mention from the top of my head The Cause of Shipwreck by Blackbriar. I think it's a fantastic symphonic progressive metal album. Of course, the last epic album, Omega, fantastic album, and I think that generally the level is still very, very high, and I can mention different stuff. The last Tremonti album, for example, from Atlantic Rock, the last Cradle of Filth album, also really nice. Resurrection Day by Rage, great production. I think that the level of music is very, very high, and we got amazing albums in the last 12 months, and all of them can be inspirational for us. Well, I think that we could talk about the Spanish local scene for hours and hours. It's very hard to keep it short. I think it's a weird scene inside the European metal scene, because it's sort of an island. I like to see it that way. For many years there was a big language barrier, a lot of bands using Spanish, even though they were using musically the same styles and genres of all Europe. And I think that limited a little bit the exposure of local bands. We got fantastic acts that sometimes were not able to get out of the borders because of that language barrier. I think it's a little bit difficult nowadays, COVID apart, to be part of the Spanish scene. We got some strongholds here and there, but it's not a very evolved scene, with not a big level of professionalism. We do have fantastic professionals here, but you can count on, I think, in one hand, and I think that the best way is to get out there and try to spread your music and your art without taking into account a lot the local scene, because it can get frustrating sometimes. even though we had some amazing memories related to it anyways. Well, that's a big question mark right now because of the award situation with this pandemic, but we do hope to have some nice supporting shows for Tales of the Seven Seas. We already have some festivals here in Europe that are closed right now. I cannot tell you any further now, but we do hope that they will take place, some of them in Germany, some of them in other countries in Europe. We have also some shows here in Spain and in other countries here. Of course, the best case scenario will be to get all of them, but unfortunately it's very uncertain right now. Our goal, of course, is to play in every corner of the world, regardless if it's a small place or a very big venue, or a big festival or a small festival. We like playing live, we like having fun together with our fans, and let's hope that we can do it as much as we can in 2022. Well, I can tell you why personally I think metal rules, and I think that it's something that is in my head and in my guts, and allowed me to create something that was really into me, and I think that's probably the same for my bandmates. And also one of my best memories, if not a lot of them, are related to metal, regardless if it was living it, being a fan myself, or being a part of a concert, or being on stage myself with my bandmates and my loved ones. I think that if I look back, that's just brings a big smile on my face, and this community is really nice, and I think that the support that you get from it probably is not the same in any other genre, so it's really good that we have this, and I hope that even though we are living difficult times, this will come back with all the strength that it had before. Thanks everybody at Metal Rules for this interview. I hope that we meet each other in real life sometime in the future. I'm Paolo from CRUSADE of BARDS. Please go and check out our new album Tales of the Seven Seas. It's gonna be out February the 18th via Rockshots Records. You can check it out, of course, on all streaming platforms and grab a copy. So thanks so much, and I'll see you soon.